Good morning. Thank you for joining us on our first discussion segment this morning, which is on Edo 2016 election matters arising. We have the issue of thuggery, we have security, then we have the election debates now. While some people think, oh, it's not necessary, others think, well, it's okay for you to come and tell the people what you want to do for them and how you intend to go about it. And then we have the campaigns. Then voter education. Is anyone really talking about it or doing anything about it? Or is it just about the campaigns of calumny and forgetting the most important segment of this whole thing, which is actually the electorate, how they should go about it and what they should do in order to avoid spot votes, void votes, and all that. And then we also have the issue of INEC and the recent allegation of recruiting a particular party's loyalists and all that. This morning I have people, gentlemen, who will be talking on this issue. Prince Greg Eweka, you're welcome to the program this morning.
Thank you.
And Edom Adagbo Michael, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, ma'am.
And Prince Greg Ogiogwa, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Well, I have two princes, and two princes, Gregs, and one Michael Edom Adagbo. And together, let's look at these issues. I'll just start off with you, Prince, so far. How is it going? Oh, when I said Prince.
Yeah, exactly.
Greg.
Which Greg? Oh,
now,
okay.
Thank you.
Well, it's been going very well, very, very well. On the APC Gordon Obaseki team, we've connected very well with the people. There were a number of issues that obviously had fallen, through the net of government perspective that have been thrown up as we were campaigning and that we've come to see. So it's been very interesting. It's been a very educative process. We've learned a lot from the people. We've also managed to impart to them a lot of the information that we had and that we have and that has not been totally very well disseminated to the public. So it's been a very interesting process. We've had the opportunity to examine the ideas of the opposition versus our own ideas and manifesto and ideology. And we've managed to also show the very clear differences between what is essentially a very simplistic agenda, a very simplistic approach to a rather complex solution, and an approach that totally deals with the issues, that looks at the imperatives of what our society needs right now to develop, which basically is economic empowerment and job creation, industrialization, and a greater empowerment of the people and inclusiveness within the economic sphere. And those are the areas that we've concentrated on. And we have seen a great yearning from the people and a great response. It's been a very, very symbiotic process of information sharing. And I believe that it is what will take us to the next level. It's interesting that when you were talking about voter education, I find out that along the road, we discovered that the people are very well educated. Okay. They're very well educated. They're not confused or even fooled by a lot of the rhetorics and a lot of the talk that they hear. What they know is the road in front of their house, the schools that their children go to. Now that they've seen that, the hospitals that they go to, they've seen all that. And now they're now thinking, all right, how do we now get jobs, and how do we now get employment for our youth, and how do we then move to the next level? So these are the issues that the people are very, very concentrated on. So at times it's amusing when I hear people talk about the campaign of calumny and all. The electorate are not actually distracted by that at all. They're very, very focused on the issues, and that's very, very rewarding personally.
All right, Prince Greg Eweka, you live in the diaspora, and so far so good. How would you say this has fared or is faring?
Thank you for inviting me to your program this morning. I would say from the little time that I've been on ground, and even though we live outside of this country, we have a lot of interest here, and we have a lot of our friends and relatives, and so we get just as much feedback as those of us here in Nigeria as well, and because every time there's always a reason to be back home. This is home. Wherever it is that we are outside of these shores, home is always home. So the interest of Edo State and Nigeria in general is something that is very, very topmost in our minds. And so we have followed very closely. Well, so far, I would say going by feeling the pulse of the people, the locals, right here, and trying to sample their opinions and ask questions from the ordinary people who are affected directly by government policies. You ask them you ask them about their statuses and as it affects their well-being, finances, and just daily struggles or daily living. And you come to see that they are also very much aware of what's going on. Politics, as we all see around the world and within the Nigerian state, you actually have a lot of rhetorics, like my friend just said, Prince Gyogwa. But outside of all the beautiful talks and all the promises, all the what we want to call the empty talks or something like that, the real the real impact eventually are going to be fed by these people. So they know what it is. I've gone around a bit, I've asked questions a bit, and I think the present governor has done his bit, and it's time for someone to take it up from there and take it to the next level. And I think to that point, I think having examined both candidates well, the frontline candidates in the race, yeah, and listened and looked at what they are offering, I would say, without any fear or favor, that the PDP candidate seemed to understand what the people need, what they lack, their needs and everything, and haven't looked at the simple agenda, which is the little covenant that he's wanting to have with the people. I think he has greater offer.
Why do you
right
say
there.
so?
Why do I say so? Good question. We have had a government now for 8 years, almost 8 years. And to my mind, the very first 4 years of that administration was excellent, was superb. Because the man, the comrade governor, was ushered in with great hope, going from what the people had experienced under a previous administration
of PDP.
So he was ushered in with great hope, and to my mind, and with all honesty, I think he performed up until the time that maybe politics got in the way. I would think that in his first 4 years, he wasn't all that a politician in the Nigerian sense. So it was about the people, it was about performance. But then, the last 4 years, I would think, has really, in my mind, or to my mind, been very, very abysmal. So most of the things that I've seen still on ground are things that I have seen in his first 4 years of his tenure. So I haven't really seen much now. And so for the PDP candidate, having the background, having the experience, you know, and having a very, very, what I would say, a very, very strict work ethic. I would say without any doubt that, I mean, he's prepared for the job, and from all his engagements with the people, because like I have always said, when you have candidates who are jostling for a position to bring service to the people, then you try to meet with the people and tell them what it is that you're offering. But it appears from every opportunity that come out there for the gentleman from the APC to meet with the people and, you know, kind of embrace them with what it is that is trying to offer them, he has just, you know, shied away from it.
You mean like the debate?
There's been a debate.
Not only one, there'll be more than one.
There's been a debate.
More than one.
Okay, well, there's been a debate that he didn't come up, and I have seen rallies or campaigns, whatever it's called here, where he comes with the comrade governor. The comrade governor is not asking for a third term. But from all, from all that we've seen, when there are campaigns and they go on tours meeting the people, all you mostly see and hear is the comrade governor speaking.
Okay, I'll pause you right there. Let me come to you now, Michael. Your thoughts in the whole of all this.
Thank you very much for inviting me today, and thanks to the Prince. Also, my brother here, thanks you very much.
Thank you.
The fact of the matter is, I live in diaspora, and I come to Nigeria twice, 3 times a year. And over the years, like Greg said, the comrade governor did quite a bit on the roads, which is just on the surface. But in terms of jobs, when you go around the city, around the State, no work. And now people are really suffering. Now when you look at Edo North, for instance, there's enormous wealth on Edo North, just lying there, unutilized. For instance, Marmor. With Marmors, you can do a lot of things like ties here. We don't need to import ties anymore to the country. So it's a number of work. It can create thousands of jobs in the country, for instance. And most of the jobs that were created by or were in place when Oshomole came in, like the bed insurance and...
That's not true.
Let me finish, please, sir. You can borrow it. Like the bed insurance was working when it came in, and also Benevure, they were all working. They were working. You can borrow it. Those were jobs that were people were working in the offices there, and where other laborers that trickled down to the economy. And also in this contest now of the election, when you go to the street, ask people about the election, they will say everything is scam, but all they need is jobs. So the simple agenda is a contract with the state that Pastor Zeyamo is offering to the people. When you read the simple agenda, just education is going to qualify education again. The education system in Nigeria is falling down. We all know that. A lot of graduates are out on the streets, no jobs. So how do we get those people into jobs? So with the simple agenda in the contract, it's all centered with the people. So for that instances, I think the best qualified candidate is Pastor Zeyamo. Thank you.
Okay.
You know, like at the beginning, I said at the very beginning that it was a very simplistic agenda and a very simplistic approach. I'm glad that my brother, Prince Greg Eweka, has already said that Oshomole did very well in his first administration as compared to the administration before him. The administrations before Oshomole were PDP
And as
aspirations.
compared to the last 4 years.
No, excuse me. No, excuse me. Let me tell you my interpretation. Okay. And then you can tell me your interpretation later. But my interpretation of what he said was this. Oshomole did very well in the first 4 years as compared to the administrations before him. There were 2 administrations before him. 8 years of Lucky Gbenedio and 19 months of Professor Sumbo. And he did very well compared to them. He did enormously well, in his own words. Now, those are PDP administrations. Now, wait, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Then he went on to say that Pastor Zeyamo has great wealth of experience and everything. Where is Pastor Zeyamo's experience? It's in that same PDP government. The 8 years of Lucky Gbenedio. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. That was still his experience in government. It's the only experience he has. that we can see.
4 years in Oshomole's
No, he was never in government in Oshomole's government. Never. He was never a government official, never a government appointee in any APC government. Never. He never worked for the Edo State government. Never. Never. Under Oshomole, under the APC. Never.
Really?
Now, he was the chief of staff to Lucky Gbenedion first 4 years. He was SSG the next 4 years. Those are his only working experience on his CV, on his biography. Don't take my word. Go check it on cyberspace. That's there, on his official website. His only working experience was with the 8 years of Lucky Gbenedion and, his participation in the Osunbo government or whatever. Now, yes, I'm saying that if that is what he's predicating, because that's what he said, that, his experience, he's tested and a tried administrator. The only test and trial of his administrative skills are in a PDP government that has been adjudged the worst ever in Edo State history. That he said himself that Oshomole performed enormously well as compared to the administrations before him. So he said that himself. Then secondly, wait, hold on now.
Okay.
And then my brother here, Michael, said that Bendel Breweries was working when Oshomole took over government. That is very patently false. He also said that Bendel Insurance was working patently false. It's a fact that Bendel Insurance went down somewhere in 2006. By 2004, Churchgate had already taken Edo State government to court over Bendel Breweries. So it's a fact. The debt of Bendel Breweries was registered with AMCON. In 2007. Its liabilities were already registered with AMCON in 2007. That was well before Oshomole came in. So it's very patently false. Then he went on to talk about there are no jobs, but that the roads, they've done very well with the roads. How? And he talked about the mineral deposits in Edo North. How do you get to areas of mineral deposits or areas of agricultural production without roads? Which has been the main problem. The reason we didn't have jobs was because industries cannot go and locate in the places of the sources of raw materials when there are no roads. Look at Okpekpe, for example. Today we have Okpekpe Mountain Race. That road was not built for a race. It has been adopted by the International Athletics Federation to use as a mountain race. They pay $50,000 a year, bring runners from all over the world who come and camp there, spend tourist dollars in that place. But that road was built to reach mining resources in Okpekpe. That's why that road was built. And now it has now has the dual function of not only providing access to the mines, it also provides, an international athletic event. So this just building roads. And then he's saying that there was no work. Who built the roads? It's Edo people who built those roads. It was workers who did it. Who built the schools? Who built the schools? Who built the hospitals? It was Edo people who did it. They were not, these people did not come from heaven or come from hell or come from anywhere else. The people that built the roads, that built the schools, even the women who were selling, excuse me, sir, you can rebut, like you said, you can rebut. Now, the people even the women who were selling food in the wheelbarrows to the workers who are working in the school, their production increased. By building roads into what's it called, Costain Isonoria. By building roads, we reclaim that area, we put up street lights, we move the economy from being a 7-hour economy that ends at 7 o'clock to a 10-hour economy.
Okay.
So, there's no evidence, there's even no concept of proof. Okay. When they now say a proof of concept, when they now say that they are going to make Edo State better, they have an agenda. What have they done before? Where's the proof?
Okay, just hold it right there. We're going to go for the news update for 8:30. When we come back, I know you both want to react.
Absolutely.
If not all the things he said.
We can be passionate too.
Of course, that's around the corner, something we should start preparing for. But that's after the September 10 election, and we're actually looking at the matters arising. I have two Gregs here in the studio, two Prince Gregs and one Michael. And before we went on the break, we were actually, Greg Eweka was going to react to some of the things that, if not all, the things that Greg Ogilwa said.
Okay, first of all, thank you for coming back to the show. My friend, Prince Greg Ogilwa, actually was talking about the experience of his candidate, or some of the things that he felt were the accomplishments of Oshomole, Governor Oshomole. I would like to quickly punch some holes on some of the comments that he made concerning. It is not true that Lucky Igbenedion's government was or is the worst in Edo State history. The difference between Lucky's government and Oshomole's, to me and to every discerning mind, will be that one is just a lousy talker, while the other one is someone who has very few words to say. The difference today, as we know and as we can see, it's politics has become more propaganda than work, than progress. And Oshomole, the governor, the present governor of Edo State, appears to be a master in this act of propaganda, because as we can see, he talked about roads. Some of these roads were already there in existence before this administration. Most of them, I would say, were not in very deplorable conditions. Some of these roads were just roads that, you know, they did some kind of facelift and all of that too. First of all, we're talking about roads. You're talking about how the present governor had done this and done that. See, there is no development. There is no the progress of any government is measured on the lifestyle of its citizens. That's what it is. If you're talking about roads and you're talking about things that were done and things that were not done, you must be able to juxtapose, you know, the effect of these roads or the effect of this development that you claimed to have done vis-a-vis the lifestyle of the people.
We pay the highest salaries in Nigeria.
Right now, those are more impoverished than ever
We pay the highest salaries.
Comrade Oshomole's government.
We pay the highest salaries.
Right now, if you go into the street as we speak and sample people's opinions, you will see now that people are harassed, people are extorted, people are whipped into. I heard recently, and I've asked 1 or 2 or 3 drivers in Benin. Right now, it is almost criminal for you to have a different political opinion.
In the city?
In the city, in the state.
It's crazy.
People are coerced. People are, I'm told now that people, the drivers, the commuters, the transporters in Benin, what is required of them now for them to be able to go about their daily legitimate business is that they are even asked, where's your PVC? You need to show your voter's card before you are allowed to go about your legitimate
But it doesn't
business.
say what party
And
you
again,
belong to.
let's look at it again. Why, what is Comrade Oshomole afraid of? If he has performed like everybody wants to make us believe, your work should speak for you. Your work should say, your work should actually convince the people. He won't need to make all these frantic efforts, and even to the point of harassing people,
Okay.
to want to tell them that they should be voted for.
Okay,
You know,
thank you, Prince
allegations.
Eweka. All these
Allegations without
allegations.
basis.
Okay, so based on that, let's drop the past. Let's drop the past administration. Let's drop this. Because if we really continue to dwell on this, I mean, Prince Greg, you will agree with me that if you ask an average Nigeria today, which would you have preferred, Jonathan's government or the present administration? The man on the street today will tell you, oh, then I was buying a bag of rice for so amount of money. I'm just telling you, that's what a layman would say. But hold on. That's actually from an ordinary man who knows how much he was buying a bag of rice before and now. So let's not dwell on that. Let's dwell on the issue on ground, which is September 10th. Now, let's look at the issue of thuggery. Please, let's, for a while, just leave the past administration and the present governor out of this thing, and let's look at how we, the different political parties, are going about making sure that thuggery is reduced to the barest minimum come September 10, so that everybody will be safe on election day. Michael, you've not spoken.
Okay, I think for the thuggery thing, come September 10th,
yes.
POI will certainly deal with that in entirety. But what I will come back again to job creation. I know you don't like that because you guys didn't do nothing about that. If all the moribund companies were actually revitalized under your administration, we wouldn't be sitting here. But the fact of the matter is, we don't have no jobs. People need to work. People need jobs.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. We need to create jobs. And come September 10th, we will create a lot of jobs for the state.
How?
Number one, we have a company coming already to Nigeria that will create jobs. For the company is, I can tell you the name of the company, it's not jokes. We have a waste facility project that generates electricity. They can power up to about 300 megawatts that is coming to Edo State. And the employment, direct employment, I won't lie, like you people, 20,000 jobs, is going to generate just 5,000 jobs directly. And this will trickle down to about 10,000 indirect jobs in the state. That's the way you create jobs. And most of the moribund company will be revitalized.
How?
Like, how? By investing in those companies through PPP. That's how simple it is, which you guys don't know in terms of economics, which was very bad. If you guys have created jobs, like I said before, we won't be having all these discussions. Your merit will speak for yourself, just like we said. And that's the bottom line in terms of job creation. We will do all we can in terms of what we have. We have a lushy farmland there. The farmlands will be utilized. We have a lot of edible land in Edo State. It's one of the most edible land in the country. And all these things you made here were all grounded. So why?
Okay. You know, like I said before, it's very obvious when you see a group of people who don't have a plan. You know, there's no plan. He was talking about power. Edo State already has 3 power plants in construction. One is the Ethio power plant, which belongs to Johnson Arumeme, the Arik man. One is the IPP. One is the IPP one, which belongs. I'm telling you about, you know, we're talking about how you want to create jobs, because he took it from thuggery to creating jobs. First of all, APC has no space for thugs. We have no space for thugs. If you have a large body of unemployed young men who are predisposed towards violence or using violent means to achieve their ends, we intend to put those people into constructive employments, like we already have over the last 8 years. Like I pointed out to you, building the schools in Edo State.
Well, the truth of the matter is that we know in Edo State, those people that are known names.
Okay, so let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of jobs. Let me give you an example of jobs now. You see, let me give you, my good brother here, Greg, bought some rice off me, Uncle Greg's rice, which I produce. Uncle Greg's rice was made possible by the roads that Adams Oshomole built. If he hadn't built that road, I would not have been able to start to farm rice.
Is that a job that the government created?
No. It is by creating roads that you create jobs, because neither in America nor in Germany, where he comes from, do any governments own any businesses. The governments don't set up businesses in America. The government doesn't set up businesses in Germany. So why do they expect the Edo State governments to go and start setting up businesses? What we've done is what we're doing with Okpila Cement PLC, with Gordon Obaseki running that operation. It was to use the assets of the company and float it on the stock exchange and get Edo people to buy shares in it. So for now, Edo people are not just salary earners.
Who are Edo people buying those shares?
Me and you and everybody else. The stock exchange. No, excuse me, sir.
And
Excuse me, sir. No, you're beginning to allege. You're beginning to allege fraud there, and that's not allowed.
No, it's not.
No. You cannot allege. You cannot allege. No, you're alleging it when you say. I'm just telling you that Edo people.
No, I allowed you.
Edo people are buying shares. Edo people are buying shares in this company.
Who are the Edo people?
And if you go onto the stock exchange, you can buy shares. Now, what's happening is this. For the first time, Edo people no longer just have to depend on salaries from these companies that we're putting back together. Now they can now share profits. They can now share profits. And then also, you know, when you talk about power and you're talking about waste management power, we already have 3 massive plants. And Edo State has the unique advantage of being the only state in Nigeria that has 3 power plants. So we are already poised to produce 8,000 megawatts, where my brother is talking about 300 megawatts. We already have 8 registered farmers.
All these things
we have 8 registered farmers with 115,000 hectares. And then if you look at 2 people per hectare, that's already 300,000 people. And they're talking about 3,000 jobs. The fact that they don't know what to do means that they want to reduce all of us down to that simplistic level.
You know, they don't allow people to speak.
No, it's because it's my turn to speak. It's my turn to speak. I allowed you to speak. You guys didn't make any sense. You were trying to bring us down. You're trying to bring us back down to the caveman level. You know, and we've gone well beyond that. Look, we're using broadband as infrastructure, for God's sake. I haven't heard you guys talking about information technology.
Can you just please hold on?
Take example from your hospital you'll be building now.
We built the hospital. You guys didn't even do it. This is a hospital that was built in 1903. You didn't build it for over 100 and something years. We're now building it. You're saying okay, but we built it. You guys didn't even build it. You didn't even build it. You did not even build it for 100 years. For 100 years, you did not build it. For 100 years, you didn't build the hospital. We now build it. You say it's a structure. Why didn't you build a structure? So all we had to do was to come and now put equipment inside. That's what you should have done. You should have built the hospital. We would have come and put in equipment.
Can you stop now? Prince, just whatever you want to say because we're ending this.
Thank you. Well, I am not surprised because, like, you know, like what the Prince is doing in the studio right now, trying to get his own time and get ours as well. This is what the Shomole does.
You started it.
No, but this is what the Shomole does. He never allows any. He ran this state. It's a one-man state.
Now you are talking.
It's a one-man show.
Now you are talking. Can you just make your point, please?
Yeah, I mean, it's a one-man show. Well, it's unfortunate that there are quite a lot of things that I would have liked to dwell on, but we're limited by time. And what I want to say to the Edo people, you have a choice to make. We have a choice to make. It is a choice between trying to do things in a better way as opposed to doing things the way they are now. And we know that the way things are now, it is a gridlock. It's not working. Nothing is working. Nothing is working right now. The people have never been this insecure in Edo State. The people have never been this impoverished in Edo State. The people have never been this extorted in Edo State. Now you take money from people, you tax them,
and we pay them.
You have no roads. You have no roads.
We pay them.
You have no one is secured in Edo State under this administration. Okay. The people that they've empowered in this administration are people that do their daily jobs.
Okay, that's actually where we anchor today. Thank you so much, Prince Greg Eweka, for coming on the program today. Michael Ledoma Dagmo, thank you for coming on the program today.
Thank you.
Prince Greg Ogiogba.
Thank you very much
for coming on the program today.
Pleasure.
Okay, well, there was actually something I wanted Greg to dwell more on because of time, but that is voter education. It is very, very important. It's not enough to say, I'm going to vote for this person. The question is, does this person know exactly how to thumbprint, how to vote on that day, or will the person end up spoiling the voters card, thereby voiding the result. So political parties and followers, you people have a lot of job to do. Go and educate your voter. Don't just sell yourself to them. Also teach them how to vote. TMI continues with Wilson. Good morning.